Welcome to yet another episode. That is the market update of commercial and industrial properties. And I'm really happy to see that you guys enjoy the episodes. What is different substantially from this YouTube series is that we give you the real source, what's transacted in the market, and what is the upcoming pipeline. So first half have just gone in a glimpse of the eyes, and now we are into the third quarter. So, the war has continued, and seriously, it seems that it's not going to stop in any case. And the banking crisis doesn't really bother us too much, or it didn't get to elevate. So that's good news. Interest rate continue to be high. That means you, the landlords out there, have some opportunities to continue to retain your tenants. If they were to compare between rental and purchase, most likely because of the high interest rate, they will continue to be with you. And you guys see me in red and white because today, while we are filming this, we are in the August month. I want to stress upon, I love Singapore. And Singapore as a country, the government has certainly made sure that the residential properties are within the affordability of most Singaporeans. And when it comes to commercial and industrial properties, for the first time, in the first half of the year, you know that there's, for the first time, the stamp duty increase, which impacts on the non-residential properties. If you want to review again, click the button, watch the series that I have recorded for Budget 2023. And of course, in recently, where mixed developments are concerned, for the commercial component is also kind of like treated as the residential tax portion, but most developers are actually not so overly concerned about it because most of them actually have local companies, so they are not exactly foreigners. So with that, I would also like to take you more in depth into if you are a business in business, you are the HR and the finance manager looking at office relocation, what's the current situation right now? In fact, we are facing quite tight supply in the market right now, and also the amount of shadow space because of hybrid working. Companies are right-sizing their space. And that means for us as property bankers, we actually help them to look into how to right size and also help them to get some replacement tenant for some parts of the space, and then they can then decide whether they want to relocate or continue in the same space. So with that, let me jump into the notable deals because for this series, we're talking about market and really what has happened in the market for the first half and part of the third quarter. Okay, so one of the very hot products or properties right is Solitaire at Cecil. Can you imagine the total of 15 floors were sold within 3 months, fully sold, and in fact all above 4,000 per square foot. Record breaking, but it is value that all these buyers are looking into freehold and really grade A standard. So it's really snap up in no time. And in fact, the last floor was at 4,325 per square foot. So you can see lots of news out there reporting about the excitement of this property. And really, for those of you who missed the boat, talk to us. We probably have others to offer you. And you have Liberty House, okay, so at 92.2 million, quite a sizable deal for a building of its size. Then Parkway Parade, the stakes are being held very tightly, but recently there's a 10% interest in the holding stake, and that's basically a transaction of 138 million. And equates to about 264 retail shops and also 27 strata office units. So unusual, but I would say that Parkway Parade has been known that business is bustling there, and with the upcoming train line, which is slated for completion, well, who knows? I mean, this guy who had this 10% stake, in fact, has some foresight. Okay, next up, shop houses continue to be our darlings. Okay, so the sizable shop houses that's been transacted are 78 and 80 Amoy Street at 75 million and 180 Telok Ayer Street at 30 million. Okay, so that's so much about the office, the shop houses, and also part of it retail. Let's come to the industrial notable transaction. So in fact, the REIT is selling. Okay, so ESR has actually sold its portfolio of 5 industrial facility, which comprises of 4 and 8 Clementi Loop, Pan Asia Logistic, Jurong District Centre, 6 Chin Bee Avenue, and ODC District Centre. So total sum of 313.5 million. So that sums up, some of the notable transactions. And I think you guys out there, you will not be so much into this, but this trends down to what will continue to trend up, which is basically freehold offices. So freehold offices, first of all, I would say there's not that many in prime CBD. So look out for it. And then, of course, the shop houses. But shop houses is not everybody's game because the prices have moved up quite a lot. So these companies that bought are institutional. And of course, for the industrial facility, in fact, the trend is right now portfolio purchase. So for those of you who have already got a few sites in Singapore, never before is a good time for you to talk to us to see how to restructure. Maybe you have like 3 to 5 factories or warehouses island-wide. So that may be an attraction for the hungry industrialists who are buying into a slice of the cake. Yeah. So next up, we want to talk about notable lease transactions, because the rental is still a big basis where we can look into who moves from one place to another, why they move, what kind of strategies do they embark upon. So MOH has announced their move to Elementum, a new building by one of my favorite landlords, Hobby, and very good location. So they are moving out from Harbourfront Centre, and just a few days ago, you have also heard about Harbourfront Centre having its redevelopment. So Harbourfront tenants out there, you don't know where to move, come to us. Okay, so next up for Morgan Stanley, they are relocating 66,000 square feet from Capital Square to IOI Central Boulevard. So that's quite a big move as well. And I would also like to mention Munich Re, which relocates 45,000 square feet from 20 Collyer Quay to 18 Cross Street. And 18 Cross Street has recently just done their refurbishment work. So this is one of the, I would say, if you don't move to a new building, you move to a building that has already done some asset enhancement. And there are quite a number out there. So it's interesting to note that the pricing of this enhanced building is actually much more palatable. So now we look at also the pipeline. Okay, for office itself, yes, we know already that IOI Central Boulevard Towers is going to obtain its TOP third quarter 2023, which is anytime now. In a couple of like 2-3 months, you'll see some shift, and you'll see some vacancy that's in the market. Then Odeon Towers extension, which is TOP expected to be Q2 2024. Labrador Towers, which is having one of their anchor tenants, Prudential, that will come on stream completing in Q3 2024. And Keppel South Central, which is used to be known as Keppel Towers, completing Q4 2024. So I've actually already summed it up for you between 2023 to 2024. So it's quite a steady pipeline, and outside of CBD office, which is slated for completion in Q1 2025, that's Paya Lebar Green. So I think that will actually catch a lot of attention, because after the success of PLQ, Paya Lebar Quarters, I think this location will continue to be attractive. So if you are a big tenant looking to shift out of CBD, well, we can have a very early chat for you, so that you can well position yourself into this building. Similar timeline, which is outside of Raffles Place location, is Shaw Tower, very actively being marketed right now, also slated for TOP, expected TOP in 2025 quarter 1. And all the way we'll also see like for 8 Shenton Way and even 80 Anson Road, which most of us known as Fuji Xerox or Newport for the residential. The offices will also come on stream 2028. So you can see that for 2024, 2025, there's like a mix of new buildings, and with companies moving into these new buildings, you also have a chance to take over the fully fitted condition, depending on how desirable, how matching to your space. I think we are ready anytime to talk to you guys, because we know the movers of the market, where they are going to move to, and take some time, because the supply of office is still pretty tight. Okay, for industrial, of course, we know that there's this Punggol district, which is coming up also, with the university moving there. And I think the first few tenants already inked their deal over there. It also can be an interesting location, because in the northeast location, there are not that many, I would say, high-tech kind of space for the industrial lease. So that would be continue to be interesting. So to sum up, so how about the landlords? You realize that all these buildings that companies, big corporations move to, are buildings that's relatively new. So why do they move to these spaces? Is because of course the newer features, and I think these new buildings are definitely green mark. They have all the ESG initiatives in place. So tenants are definitely willing to pay a premium to move on to all these new buildings. And if you are out there as a landlord and you are in the so-called slightly older buildings, throw in some incentives. Perhaps you can even talk to us. We can plan your space such that they are in fitted condition, so that your tenants can save some fitting out. And once the space is fitted, the way to sell is much easier, because the tenants can then visualize the space. And of course, for landlords right now, you guys should also observe that there is likelihood of thinking about hybrid space. So instead of getting your co-working tenants to make the money, some of you out there as landlords, you can always offer the core, which is the conventional office, and a mix of the flex space, where the tenants can take shorter period, or can just be more flexible in their leasing option. Yeah. So now next up, which is you, the tenants. Okay, so in fact, like earlier, I have also highlighted that with all these major tenants moving into new buildings, and if you are budget conscious, you can take over some of the fittings from these corporate tenants who definitely leave behind very good fittings. So what you lack is probably the time to plan. Of course, you may not be so readily understanding or knowing who is going to move from A to B. And I think nothing beats about the negotiation. So negotiation, if you directly go and find the landlords and you think you can do the best job, landlords know that you don't have someone that actually handhold you. In fact, the contrary is the truth, is that landlord is not too bothered about saving the commission with advisors helping you, but advisors would then probably also whisper into landlord's ears, this particular tenant is looking at A, B, C, and D, and encourage landlords to be more competitive in their offerings to you. So occupiers out there, tenants out there, this is one good time that you, because now you're into quarter 3, before you hit quarter 4, it's a good time for you to sit and rethink your real estate strategy. And earlier on, where we actually highlighted the notable sale transactions. So if you are an investor, what are you actually going to look at? Well, I would say long term, because now we are at an all-time high for your interest rates. And in fact, me as an investor, I realized that I have to top up my monthly installment. So be sustainable in your financial planning, because for now you are not likely to have almost like not paying any of your monthly installment without any top up. Okay, so but investors who look at long term, there are definitely value buys. If not, look at how Solitaire as Cecil has actually sold out. So some of my friends out there, private bankers who referred me, they said that, they didn't know that this can be sold in such a short time. So we're still having cash-rich investors out there. So if you are one of them, what is a good buy? Come to me. Yeah. So with that, I shall kind of give you really a very quick snapshot. It is all about your needs. So be it that you need a commercial office, or you have a requirement to start manufacturing, go into food factories. Food factories has been the season sale this round, but you can see that they are slowly being taken up. And finally, give us some encouragement, like, subscribe, and most importantly, click on 83331338 so we can have the conversation this year for your move for next year. Till then, see you around.